Going well. So we were pretty happy with last week to go 1-1 against two very good teams, and Illawarra is another challenge. Obviously, the reigning champs, and they're going to unveil the banner on Saturday night. And so they're a good team, well coached, got some excellent players in Tyler Harvey and brought in big JaVale McGee. So they're going to pose some problems for us. But we've had a really good week in here at practice and getting after it, working hard. So we're quietly confident about our chances on Saturday.
Not, not the ideal start against Melbourne United, but you were able to back it up on the weekend. What changed? It was quite a short turnaround.
Well, the Melbourne United game was disappointing. We felt like we let one slip. We were basically tied with a minute to go, and those next four possessions didn't go our way. But to be right there against a strong team like them was promising. Now, we hurt ourselves with our rebounding and our foul discipline. So they think they shot 26 free throws and 20 plus offensive rebounds. That's too many. And we tidied that up in the second game against Perth, particularly the rebounding and the fouling. So
I was going to ask you about the fouling, because I know it's a problem with a lot of teams, but I don't. As a coach, how do you sort of promote that fierceness and that competitiveness with players while keeping that kind of in check?
Well, a big part is the kind of fouls you're committing, and generally if you're grabbing or you have your hands down or hands on, that's more likely to be called a foul as opposed to being physical with your chest and showing your hands. So as us coaching defensive techniques, we're all about getting your hands out and being sensible with your defensive decisions and not no bailout fouls.
What are you, expecting from Illawarra? We know they are the reigning champions, but they have had a lot of movement in their list, and they didn't go as well as they probably would have liked in the Intercontinental Cup.
Yeah, pre-season's pre-season, and it's hard for a lot of the teams in the ability to be running on all cylinders early, and so just like us, they're a reasonably new group with some pieces. They're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. Like Tyler Harvey's been in the league for a long time, a dynamic scorer. Hickey down the lane penetrating. The other import, McLaughlin, he's going to be tough. And then obviously they bring in 7'1" JaVale McGee, and that's a whole different problem. So traditionally they've shot a lot of threes, played fast and smashed the offensive glass. So our ability to contain them in defensive transition, which starts with our shot selection and looking after the ball so we can be organised, and then making sure we rebound well and keep them off the offensive glass.
I guess to get another win on the road, would that just fill you with confidence right at the start of the season?
Oh, for sure. Like to be 2-1 against three of the teams that most people predict to be top four, we'd be really happy with that outcome to start the season.
I know you weren't here last year, but there seems to be a bit of a change in pace too, a lot quicker for the Jack Jumpers. Is that something you're trying to promote?
Yeah, definitely. And when we had our first mini camp at the end of July, that was one of the main things we talked about is our pace. And a lot of it comes with personnel and who's on your roster. And we've got some new young guys. We're a young group, and so there's inexperience and there's going to be growing pains. But one thing we do have is athleticism and speed. So we want to maximise that. And pace doesn't always mean better offense, but if you use the pace appropriately and you take good shots in the first 8 seconds, you can be quite effective and efficient offensively. So that's what we're trying to do, and if we don't have anything, then we run our system and we try to generate the best shot possible every possession.
Someone that's doing that quite well is Bryce.
Yes.
How impressed are you to be able to, obviously bring him into the group and being so successful in the first couple of games?
Yeah, he's a pretty good player, isn't he? It's nice to have him on your team, and he's just one that he can create a shot for himself and others. So particularly late in games, tight, close games, if you can get him the ball and with space, he's going to be hard to deal with. So I'm glad he's on our team.
What was it like watching your second half wins? I think it was 20 points against Perth. Bryce, what was that like watching that unfold?
Well, it was good. I was enjoying it. I was cheering because I didn't go on the road, so I was cheering from the TV and analysing how we're scoring. And when he has space and he's attacking, we can get his man off him a little bit with some screening action, and there's some space for him. He's really hard to deal with. So we'll keep going to it until they stop it.
How's Shawnee Mack doing? You just saw him out there in training.
Yep. He's progressing. It's obviously a long-term injury and it's a difficult one, but I think emotionally he's been really good for us. He's on the bench sitting next to the coaches during the games. He's invested on the sidelines during practice, and he's trying to help the group as best as possible. And then also everything that he can do right now he's doing. So one-footed shooting and whatever it is, he's doing everything he can to get better. And we're looking after him, and we're really confident that he's going to come back better than ever next year.
And
I guess just from a coaching perspective too, with a young group,
Yep.
how are you sort of finding that? Like, I know some would say there's a bit of inexperience, but is there a lot of, are they quite energised and excited?
Oh yeah,
and
for
sort
sure.
of-
It's a fun group to coach, and they're all really good guys and coachable guys, and they want to get better. And whether it's getting better to stay here and play for us next year, or getting better so they're too good for us and they go elsewhere, like that's fine. We want to make them as good as possible, but it is refreshing and enjoyable to work in an environment where you've got some really high character and willing to work players.
this Saturday, you're keeping Josh and Mags and 3 imports as a starting 5, do you think?
We think so, yeah.
And so any injuries? Any from the
Nah, nothing but no. Nothing, no.
How are you finding the time at the Jackies as well?
Personally, yeah, loving it. It's a great change from coaching teenagers, now coaching pros, and that can sometimes be challenging depending on the type of pros you're coaching, but this group of guys are fantastic, and I really enjoy working with the staff. Got a lot of respect for them, and everyone in the organisation are top class, so it's been enjoyable.
just on Josh, he's working really well with Mags. They're always kind of looking out for each other and chatting to each other.
Yep.
Is that pleasing to see, and how have those?
Oh, for sure.
Together?
And the synergy between those two bigs is really important for us. And we think they're two of the best bigs in the competition. They complement each other really well, and yeah, the better that they can be playing with each other on the floor, the more success we're going to have.
Well, I might just start with, mate, how are you finding time at the Jackies?
Loving it. I'm stoked to be here and be a part of this club. It's been a great experience so far, and I'm really excited for the rest of the season.
How are you finding yourself, sort of your role that you're sort of fitting in with the team? Are you gelling well with the rest?
Yeah, I feel like the club is sort of massive on like defining roles, and I'm super excited about what my role is within this group, and I've been given a lot of freedom to do a lot of things across the court and have my skill set utilised. Obviously a couple games in, heaps of time to grow and build as a group.
No shortage of talent on the squad. Is there anyone that you're sort of particularly leaning on or getting some lessons from?
Well, obviously Bryce has been exceptional in those first couple games, and that's not surprising. He's a bucket and he's scored everywhere he's ever been. So we knew we were getting that coming in, and that's been great to see. There's been a lot of guys sort of chipping in and just being stars in their role, and I think that's what matters. Ben Ayre off the bench was a star in his role over the weekend, a bit of unsung hero, and that's the same with Nick Marshall's had an unbelievable week on the training court, and he's been exceptional throughout the pre-season.
Speaking to Nathan, he said it was a bit disappointing losing that first game, but you had such a quick turnaround with Perth. Was there any sort of mindset changes with players, or what shifted? Do you kind of put that first game in the back of your mind and look to a fresh start?
It's actually probably quite the opposite. I think we just sort of, the thing I'm loving is just the mindset from the staff is we would work on what we do, and what we do we're going to get really good at it, and that doesn't change game to game, and it's just a matter of executing what we do and continuing to build on that. So that's going to be a continual progression throughout the season, and it's just a forward-thinking mindset.
What about you and Mags in the middle? Are you enjoying that much?
Yeah, obviously he's an exceptional player. Playing with him, he anchors our defence. His presence is unbelievable, and you know that gives a lot of guys a lot of confidence to get up, climb into their man, knowing you've got such a good shot blocker back there. He's so good in the pick and roll, and then offensively we're continuing to grow together, sort of play off each other, and that's something we'll continue to build on.
Are you enjoying the fast pace within the team at the moment?
Yeah, I think the whole league's pretty fast paced, to be honest. But we're doing a great job of kicking the ball ahead and allowing guys to sort of play out in space, and I think that's something which is going to be really good for us throughout this year.
What's it been like playing in, I guess, a bit more of a young squad?
Well, the squad's awesome. I don't know if I necessarily think about us as a young squad, but I guess we kind of are a little bit. It's just a great group of guys, and I think age doesn't really factor in very much, to be honest. I think there's a lot of professionals in here and guys who carry themselves well on a day-to-day basis, and I think that's all that matters.
The Hawks as well, reigning premiers, but they've had some changes in their list. What are you sort of expecting from that game?
Obviously, they're going to a really good team. They've just been at the Intercontinental Cup, and it's a very different team to last year. They lost some key players, but obviously have a lot of key guys that were on that championship team. So we're going to be really keyed into that, and we'll do our homework, but we'll just be really good at what we do.
What did you make of the Nice crowd on that first game?
Loved it. I've been super excited for it. I wish we could have got a win, but that is what it is now. We have plenty more opportunities this year, and looking forward to the next chance.
I know a lot of teams deal with multiple games in a row on the road, but is that something you guys have to kind of factor into playing styles at all, or not really?
I think it's a great chance for us to spend a lot of time as a group on the road together. You know, you spend time together traveling, you get a lot of that early on in the year. And that's great, just continue to build relationships, connections with each other, and I think that'll serve us really well in the back end.